Right, today I'm going to be showing you how I play snooker. There's going to be a few tips in here. We're going to start off with the stance, the grip, getting set up for the shot, and later on we're going to go into some more advanced stuff. But just to start off with, I think we're going to start with the basics, which is where to hold the cue and where to put your bridge hand and how to kind of line up the shot, which is the most important part. I normally like to hold the cue here with the flap facing up to the ceiling. Copied that off of Steve Davis when I was a young kid, so I've always stuck with that. As an average, you'd like to kind of keep your hand here, so you've got kind of a little bit of a cue overhanging, but not too much, all depending on what type of shot you're going to be playing. And then obviously we're going to be walking into the shot, and you obviously lead with your right leg first, which we're going to try and keep straight as an anchor, and then the left leg is something that you naturally would bend, and that will help you to get down to the shot parallel. And we want to try and keep this hand, all depending on what type of shot we've got to play, but as an average, I like that kind of distance from the ball. But obviously, again, all depending on what type of shot you're going to be playing. If you want more power, then obviously you kind of have a little bit more overhanging. So we're going to start off now by walking into the shot. So I walk into the shot, right leg straight, left leg bent, grip nice and loose, and as I come through, I slowly accelerate with the pressure grip there. Now we're going to talk about the bridge hand, which is very, very important. It's also important to have a stable bridge hand. Anything that's moving or not stable is not going to be reliable. So I like to always try and get this part of the hand or the hand onto the table. You want to kind of keep it level, and what you want to try and create is a V for your cue hand for your cue to go through your thumb and then your finger next to your thumb. And what you want to be able to do is to make it that solid that the cue can go nowhere but along this line here. You don't want it going across there, you don't want it going across there, you just want it driving fast and forward through into the shot. I always like to kind of make sure that when I'm addressing the ball, my right forearm is parallel, and what I mean by that is it's not too far there or I'm not too much inside. I kind of think, well, there's a kind of neutral position, and for anyone trying to advance in the game, I always think that's a good kind of something to have in your as a routine, if you like. So kind of bear that in mind. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong, but this is what actually works for me, and I haven't done too bad. Now we're going to move on to the break building phase, which is, in my opinion, is the most important part of the game. If you don't score big breaks, you can't win frames. If you can't win frames, you can't win competitions. So for me, this is vitally important to get this part of the game right. It's a very, very simple shot, but my philosophy was always behind playing simple shots well. And if you play simple shots well, in theory, you should never really have to play a difficult shot. I'm going to run you through the shot here. I have the black off the spot. I have the white nicely behind it, and I'm going to try and just follow it in off 1, 2 cushions. And the aim of it is to try and bring our white out into the middle of the table, because leaving your white in a cushion is never a good idea. So the aim is to kind of try and get a good solid contact on the white and making sure that we're kind of in this kind of area. Here I go. Somewhere above the centre of the white. And we want to kind of keep it so as you stay there. And as you follow through, you kind of release the white and let it just flow. That was the screw back shot there, and as you've noticed, what I was trying to do there was just trying to address the cue ball slightly below centre, still trying to keep the cue parallel, but this time we were kind of trying to get a bit of zip into the white to create the backspin. And once you get the backspin, the idea of good backspin is when it kind of has a delayed reaction. So you kind of hit the object ball, the black goes in the hole, and then the white takes a little delay and then it accelerates back. That to me is the idea of a good backspin. And once you get the control of a good backspin, you can hit it firm, but yet with control. Then breaks will become that much easier to score. The game will become that much more simpler. And from then on, you can start looking at making 147s. I'm now going to show you a great break building exercise. This is one a lot of the top professionals do. 5 reds between the pink and black. And what we're going to try and do is take red, black, red, black, red, black, and each time leaving ourselves a perfect angle on the black to make it easy to get to our next red. So here we go, we're queuing up, kind of in the middle of the white, just below centre, little screw back. Now here is one of the shots that I would call a key shot, and it's called like a stun run through. So here I get down, I'm always in the middle of the white. There you see, I've potted the black, left myself a nice angle on this red. For me, about break building, it's about trying to play shots nice and firm so you can be positive with it. So we go down for this red, middle of the white, nice little follow through, leave myself a nice little angle on the black to then again bring my white across here. This is like a soft screw, so again just below centre, little soft screw, leave ourselves this angle onto the red. Again, we've got the perfect angle on the red. We're going to try and pot this red, leave ourselves a nice angle on the black, which I've managed to do. And again, I'm going to try and come off this top cushion and leave myself here. Always leave myself options. You've got two reds here, so I kind of want to make sure my white's here and not here. So if I go a bit too far for this one, I've always got this one here. So again, I'm going to be in the middle of the white for the black, and it's just all about delivery of the cue, keeping it nice and firm but under control. And as you can see there, I've left myself two options. I can play the bottom red or the top red, whatever I fancy. So again, I'm going to play the top red because it suits me on this shot. Once you start playing them shots regular, you'll start to feel much more confident with your striking of where you're going to get the cue ball. Your positional play will improve that much better, and that will, again, will enable you to score breaks with much less effort. The game becomes easy then, sometimes. Right, now we come to probably one of the most important parts of the game, along with break building. You've now got your safety side to the game. This will allow you to contain your opponent, to create opportunities. You couldn't look any further than someone say like Steve Davis, John Higgins. For me, they're the two best safety players I've ever played against. And today I'm going to be showing you one where you're trying to keep the balls tight, one where you're trying to play an aggressive attacking, and one where you're going to be playing a containing shot. Now I'm going to be playing the first type of safety, which is trying to keep the red stuck into them reds without trying to spread them and trying not to leave anything on. Go down onto the shot. Trying to miss the bulk colours at all costs, which I've managed to do. Coming through the yellow and the brown. And to me that looks like quite a reasonable safety shot. Now we go on to the second safety shot that I was talking about, and this is called the aggressive shot. You're playing well, you're feeling confident, you don't want to get tied down in those long safety battles. The reds are sort of tightly bunched together, but you've got one red out, which you can control really well. So the aim of the shot is to try and pot this, hit this red into these other reds, again get that white deep into that corner pocket as much as I can, and hopefully the balls are split open nice. But always concentrate on getting a good white. You can see I've opened the reds up nicely. I've managed to get a Brucey bonus, which is the snooker behind the green. But as you can see, I've now opened all these reds up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reds that are potable. I've now got him in the snooker. He's banging trouble. This one is my least favourite. This means you're in a certain amount of trouble. You're not able to get the white ball back to bulk. Your only option now is to try and leave your white as tight to the back cushion as you can. What we're going to try and do here is play this red here, white off the side cushion, let it just trickle into the back cushion. I'm snookered on this red here, so I can't get back to bulk. It's the only shot available to me. It's not one that I actually want to play, but it's the only shot I can play. So the idea now is to get down here, try and hit this nice and smooth. You get a good white, leave the white as close to the bottom cushion as you can. That way he can't be aggressive with his shot. And as you can see, there's no damage done. I haven't put him in trouble, but again, it serves a purpose. It's kept me in the game. You know, and sometimes you have to be patient, and sometimes you have to play that containing shot. one common theme amongst all of them safety shots, they were all played with topspin. Very rarely will you be playing safety shots where you'll be creating backspin. Sometimes you need to, but 90% of the time, a lot of the shots are played with topspin. And for me, the best player in the game at doing that is John Higgins, followed closely by Mark Selby. One of the masters of it was Steve Davis. He was the one we all learnt from. He was the master of topspin, splitting the reds open, getting a good white. So always bear in mind that when you're playing these safety shots, a lot of it is topspin, but controlled topspin. Not to the point where you're hitting it 100 miles an hour. You want to control every shot you hit, but creating topspin. Seeing as we've had so much interest in the Masterclass, we decided to put another one in. Today we're going to be talking about a certain shot called the soft screw. It's not your deep screw and it's not your kind of little diddy little shot. It's kind of the in-between shot, the shot that I like to call the professional shot. And today I'm going to be running through this shot here and I'm going to show you how to pot this blue and kind of get on this red, but in a professional way. Everything soft screw way is done from the middle downwards. Anything above is classed as a follow through or a stun run through. So you start from the middle and work your way down. And because it's an in-between shot, it's for you to find out what works best for you. So what I would encourage you to do is to play this shot, keep the red in the same position, the blue in the same position, and play it in a variety of different spaces. So here we are with the blue. I'm getting down to the shot. I'm just below the middle. And I've kind of always accelerating my cue. The cue is going through at that speed on all shots. If it's a deep screw, if it's a soft shot, the only thing we're changing is the pressure on the grip. So for a deep screw, you'll have a tighter grip. For some little run through, you'll have no grip at all. For the in-between shot, you kind of have to have a bit of both. You have to use your fingers just a little bit more. We're now going to show you how to play the stun run through. Again, it's the kind of advanced positional way, it's the professional way of playing the shot. A lot of people think you can only play a stun run through on a straight shot. Well, I'm telling you, you can't. You can play it on an angle shot as well. And what we do on a stun run through is always aim middle and above. Anything middle and above is classed as a run through, but we're going to be doing it in a stun kind of fashion. So we're not going to be hitting it too hard. Again, the pace of the cue is going to be going through at a certain speed. It's all done in a pressure grip. So here we have the blue, and it's on a straight angle. And I'm going to line up, cue in the middle, maybe a little bit above. But this is going to be called the stun run through. And again, the cue has not gone through very fast, nice and smooth, but I've kept and maintained a nice kind of pressure on my grip. Not too tight, not too loose. And there you can see the white ball's probably travelled through 2 feet. Another way you can play a stun run through is the off straight shot. You've kind of got the blue here. You want to kind of get your white down here. The natural angle is, if you roll it in, is that your white's going to stay here. So you're going to be a massive distance away from your next ball. So this shot here, I'm going to show you again by just playing the stun through, no different to how I played that shot, and how you can widen the angle of a ball. So I'm going to show you now. Again, we start in the middle of the white. Nothing different. In the middle, maybe a little bit above, and I'm just going to follow through. And there you can see the white has gone off at that angle instead of going over there, and that is called the stun run through. A lot of people want to know how to bust the balls open, break the pack. Now, this shot was invented by a certain guy called Stephen Hendry. This is more like the modern day shot. We've kind of spoke about the stun run through and the soft screw. For me, this is the kind of in the middle of that type of shot. You don't want to have too much stun run through, but then you don't have too much screw. We're going to try and take the spin out of the white. We're obviously going to need some spin in it, but not too much. We want to make sure that when the white hits the blue, that it travels into the pink or these 2 reds, and it has a bit of bite in it. So the white will then hit the reds and stay in the middle of the table. With that way, if the white stays in the middle of the table, you've got much more chance of being on a red. If you hit these with too much screw, there's a good chance your white could hit the pink, come back up to the bulk. If you don't get enough, if you get too much stun run through, then your white could end up down the black. So here I'm going to show you how to play the shot. We get down onto the blue, we hit in the middle of the white. And again, I haven't hit it really too hard. There's no need to hit any ball hard. Again, it's all about the pressure of the grip, getting good contact on the white, getting a firm striking on the blue, taking the spin out of the white so you don't want too much grip or not enough grip. And as you can see, I've opened the balls up nicely and I'm on a red.